humanitarian award?
Well, I mean, he deserves it for all the great work he does in the community, but it makes you proud, too, that, you have a guy who has been with us for 14 years now and become the face of the franchise, and to be able to have somebody that represents you like that off the field, in addition to being a two-time Super Bowl MVP, that's pretty special.
You said often that the off-the-field stuff is almost as important to you as the on-the-field stuff. Is that correct?
Well, I mean, I would say the on-the-field stuff is
a little more important.
pretty important, but you like to have guys represent the organization well off the field, represent their own families well off the field, and I can't think of anybody who's done a better job of that than Eli Manning.
Eli, of course, is coming to the end of his career sometime in the next few years. Do you sort of factor in his off-field things and how much he represented the franchise as you start to think about who might be the next guy?
I think you always have to keep that in mind. He's had a great career, and hopefully he's going to be able to play for a lot of years. I don't want to have to start thinking about replacing him because he's been such a steady, stable force for us. Although I might point out he's not here yet, so you better get here in a hurry.
With the draft coming up, how much have you thought about having to replace
Well,
him?
I mean, you always think about that because you're only one play away from that happening, but that's something that's always in the back of your mind.
John, do you think that, he's never really heard this before, Eli? Everyone talks about his age, and, you guys and Jerry have talked about, looking for a replacement. Do you think it's going to motivate him a little bit, or do you think it's going to,
I don't think he needs to be motivated any more than he is. He has such great pride. He works as hard and studies as hard as any player we have ever had in this franchise, and he wants to win another Super Bowl. So I don't think any of that stuff affects him one way or the other.
You don't think it will? I mean, he's heard, he hears it as much as he hears anything.
I'm sure he hears it, but he certainly doesn't show it. And again, he works as hard as anybody, has as much pride as anybody, so he'll come out ready to play this year.
How high are you on Geno as far as possibly him being the guy down the road?
Well, let's listen. He hadn't thrown a pass for us yet, but we thought it was a worthwhile signing. I mean, there have been times in his career where he's played very well. He's got all the physical skills you could ever hope for. So let's put him on the field and see what he can do.
How much of a difference maker for the offense do you think Brandon will be?
I think Brandon can have a great effect on our offense. I mean, he's still got a lot of football left in him. He's got a lot of pride. He's had a great career so far, and he's what we need, I think, on our offense.
You look at Brandon as a possible, like Plaxico was early on with Eli, that big target he can throw the ball to and go up and get the ball.
I hope so. I hope he can be that, and I think he has still played very well in recent years, and I think he's got a lot of football left in him, and hopefully he can have the same effect on us that Plaxico had. Yes.